Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your next 3 months reading. So, a couple of things before I get started. This reading is for the next 3 months: July, August, September, and I'm still going to do the monthlies, so don't worry about that. The monthlies will still be put out. July will come out. August, September, they'll all be monthlies. Just wanted to shoot these to give everybody a quick overview of the next 3 months. The reason I don't do yearlies is somebody asked me to do yearlies, but the reason I don't do the yearlies is because it's too big of a set of time. There's just too much that happens um, in a year that can change the outcome of everything. You can change the outcome of any reading at any time. That's the thing. People, one of the things that that I want to change in the card reading world is really the cards, my insight, my intuition, things like that. They're only guidance. It is not written in stone. Nothing is written in stone. It's one of the things, the bones I have to pick with the psychic community in general is that they make everything seem like it's kind of like set in stone and bound to happen and all that other stuff. Well, it's simply not true. I mean, you should take everything that any psychic says is pure guidance, and then you can just move whichever way you want to. But again, I only do 3 months because it's a good short amount of time, and chances are the themes will still be relevant over 3 months. And then when this 3 months is over, I'll do the next 3 months. So instead of doing yearlies, I rather just do quarterly because it makes more sense in general. So your next 3 months, I think, look really great, and this is not split up by months. Like I say, psychic time, there is no time in psychic energy, so this is just all together. This is what you're going to be feeling pretty much over the next 3 months for you, Aries. So, um, you have a lot of good energy, I have to say, um, here over the next 3 months. I think a lot of hard work and things like that, but overall, I think very positive. I think you've been working your way towards things, job, whether it be a job or business or anything like that. And you've been working very hard, and it's going to definitely pay off. You have the Ten of Diamonds to kick off your reading. A great card to have. It is a change in your financial kind of future. It is a change for the better as well after experiencing a period of difficulty. So it's always like a change for the better. It's extremely stable as well. It indicates stability. It's usually, the thing about 10 is it's usually a business number. So it always has to do with business in some way, shape, or form. So if you're starting a business or if you have your own business, I would say that you're going to be rather successful over the next 3 months. And very stable too. Maybe stability that you haven't seen in some time. It's kind of like there no big waves, just very stable. And I've talked about this a little bit. I might shoot a separate video on it, but I meditate a lot on the future and things like that. I don't believe anybody can really predict the future or anything, but I get the sense that there's going to be a lot of stability. Some people think that the future is going to be real crazy and all this, crazy stuff going on, but I get a real sense of things kind of evening out and getting more stable. And I think that's true for a lot of people. A lot of signs keep getting messages that indicate great stability coming in. And I think I even said this in one of your videos in the past, maybe last week's video. I'm not entirely sure when I said it, but I said that all these crazy things that are happening right now in the world, they seem really crazy on the surface, but it actually leads to greater balance. We need to have two sides kind of on everything for balance. It's one of those weird, just one of those weird things in life, I guess. But when things go all crazy, eventually what happens is things kind of balance out, and I think that's eventually what's going to happen rather soon. I think it's going to happen in people's lives sooner, and then I think it'll play out on a global scale, of course, a lot later. But that great stability is coming in. Financially, I think over the next 3 months, you are going to be doing rather well. Next, you have the Four of Spades. Not necessarily a bad card to get. There's a couple ways to read it. First off, this is worrying about finances. I have been reading this card as, the feelings that I get off of it as more of people putting their past experience with finance onto this new kind of wealth that is coming into people's lives in abundance in every way. love, spirituality, money, every type of abundance. I think when things start to get a lot better for people over the next 3 months and even longer, I think it's just going to gradually get better for everybody in a lot of ways. Challenges will still be there, but I don't think they'll be like what we've seen over the last 8 years, really. Um, but I think people attach those bad things that happened in the past to new situations, and they kind of get a little freaked out. That's kind of um, what this card indicates. The other thing is it could indicate you worrying about your home or something happening on the home front, small little type of issue. So make sure it's kind of like one of those things. You want to maybe make sure that your pipes are all set and nothing breaks down or anything in your house. I wouldn't really worry too much about it, but just maybe do a quick little check is kind of what I'm getting. The interesting thing about this card is it's a card that also indicates a good deal of work. Even though it can indicate some issues at home, it can still indicate great strength coming from home. It can still indicate all the great feelings that you get from your house. Whatever the home feels like for you is kind of, you'll be feeling all those things: comfortable, security, protection. Anything that the house provides you is what you'll be feeling. And again, I'm getting like a lot of hard work. I think you're going to be working hard over the next 3 months. I don't think you're opposed to it either. I don't think it's like something that you don't want to do. But this card can indicate hard work, and it does indicate good things coming out of the hard work. And to carry that message through, we have the King of Spades as your last card. And I think this is going to be how you are feeling over the next 3 months. And actually, really, I think longer. Even though I said I wasn't going to do a year, I think you're going to be carrying this energy for quite some time. And this is somebody who is a very hard worker and who gets a lot of stuff done. I call this card the Lawyer because it carries a lot of the energies that a lawyer has. Does that mean that you're going to become a lawyer? No. Does that mean that you are a lawyer? No. It just means that you will be working in that kind of way, the way that a lawyer does. Very driven, very focused, and with a high degree of mastery in what you do. So, and it doesn't matter, and now, I'm getting some major confirmation on that one. So, I think it's something that you're going to focus on. Like I said, high degree of mastery keeps coming up, like very focused on it. The thing about this card, the negative side of it, and it's not even a negative in my mind, is that typically when people get this card, it means that they work for themselves. As in, they're only working for their own outcome. So when you think about a lawyer, a lawyer is pretty much working to get paid, and they'll maybe even do some things that are a little bit, unethical by some people's standards. And, that's kind of like the dark side of this card. So like, let's take a public defender as an example. A public defender or a criminal defense attorney, even better. They have to defend criminals, some of the worst criminals in the world. They have to go up in front of a jury and basically try to defend a criminal. So some people look down on that. They say that's very negative. And the lawyer, they have their own kind of like motives in doing that, and that's to earn money. So they don't really care about the outcomes. So that's like the dark side of this card, is it can mean that you are kind of doing things for your own gain. But, I think that's okay sometimes. I think sometimes you have to work for yourself. You have to work with your own interests at heart. We've been kind of like, it's been such a challenging time for so long, as I stated, that it's like we have to do things for ourselves a little bit more. We need to focus on ourselves a little bit more. And I think that this is really saying it's okay if you do things with your own, with your kind of like intentions at heart. Maybe, even if you're like trying to help somebody out, it's okay to still want to make money, is what this card is saying, and things like that. So overall, I think you are in a very powerful position over the next 3 months. And, I think that you'll start to see things kind of improve over the next 3 months right away. and I think you're going to be in a lot stronger of a position. Like I said, this is like a really good card to have. So that's that. Thank you for watching this video.